With mandatory evacuation orders happening in Florida because of Hurricane Ian, many people are having to cancel or alter their fall break vacation plans. At 10, how the hurricane will affect Florida and beyond. Join us next at 10 on WPSD Local 6.
Tonight, Jimmy has Miles Teller playing Drinko.
That's a lot to chug. Turn and burn, baby.
Plus, Idina Menzel and a new purple M&M.
Yeah, I guess the blue and red M&M's date went really well.
New Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon.
With Kohl's and 9 West, it's time to level up your work style. Plus, take an extra 20% off. More style, more savings. Kohl's.
Juliana, Big Mac, no pickles, extra special sauce. And Jimena, quarter pounder with cheese, extra pickles, no onions.
Thanks, Dad.
You got it.
Buy one favorite like a Big Mac and get another for just $1.
From out of the blue, every room can be more innovative. With some of that, and a whole lot of this. Meet our exclusive dent and scratch resistant Stainmaster laminate. Check out our most innovative products, only at Lowe's.
I'm here to tell the truth. One bad act doesn't make you a bad person.
Captain Benson, Captain Duarte, you two are going to be coordinating on this one.
This guy Duarte has personal beef.
You think I pushed him?
Did you?
Later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes Miles Teller, NBC Tonight.
All right, we are tracking Hurricane Ian. We'll let you know where it's heading next, coming up in just a few minutes.
Plus, although downgraded to a Category 2, Hurricane Ian is still battering Florida. We'll have a look at the damage. If Ian has put a dent in your Florida travel plans, advice from a travel agent on best steps to address problems, and one local woman's story. Local 6 at 10 starts now.
WPSD Local 6, your breaking news and weather authority. This is Local 6 at 10.
Hurricane Ian has been downgraded to a level 2, but continues to cause damage across parts of Florida. It originally made landfall as a Cat 4 and is one of the strongest hurricanes to make landfall on the west coast of the Florida Peninsula. Right now, an estimated 1.9 million people are without power. Here's some video from Naples, Florida, where water surged high and carried away people's belongings. A few people starting to survey the damage, but as you can see, just devastating to people who call that area home. And take a look at this time-lapse video from a web camera in Fort Myers, Florida. It shows the storm surge from Hurricane Ian flooding the city streets. The city is seeing record flooding tonight, and the full extent of the storm surge has yet to be seen in some places. Really incredible to see that water building up there and just move down the road. Imagine looking out from a room high above those flooded streets and seeing this. And here's more flooding video from Fort Myers. Now, this appears to be outside of a complex. Not sure if it's a hotel or a condo unit. As you can see, widespread flooding and trees blowing in the wind. The mayor there called the destruction the worst he's ever seen.
I've been here since the mid-'70s. This is absolutely by far the worst storm I have ever seen. I can tell you, I'm looking at the businesses downtown that are all flooded, windows blown out.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said the storm is battering Southwest Florida. He described the storm as ferocious and ominous, and that it'll continue to move through Florida tomorrow.
The storm is doing a number on the state of Florida. It is going to continue to move through this state today and through much of tomorrow, and there's going to continue to be a number of adverse effects.
Comcast has opened a network of more than 200,000 public Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots throughout Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina to help people stay connected during the hurricane. Meanwhile, officials are warning people not to loot. All right, meteorologist Noah Berggren is tracking the latest for us now. So Noah, bring us up to speed.
Todd, wind gusts continue to be very strong across central Florida tonight. Here's some of the observed wind gusts from Hurricane Ian, which is one of the strongest to ever hit the Sunshine State. Peak wind gust we've seen so far today was about 134 miles an hour. That was in the Cape Coral area earlier this afternoon. Several other reports in the 110 to 120 mile per hour range. Sorry about that. Computer froze there for a second. 140 was the peak. Cape Coral, Captiva 126, Naples 112, Sanibel Island 107 mile an hour. This was earlier this afternoon across I-75. Thankfully, you don't see any cars. People heeded the warnings and the evacuation orders across the central and western parts of Florida. All right, up to the minute. If you missed it earlier, Category 4 landfall did occur at 3:05 Eastern time with 150 mile an hour sustained winds, 940 millibars. We'll talk more about where that ranks historically coming up. Near identical landfall to Charlie. Charlie was a much smaller hurricane in 2004, and this is the highest storm surge in recorded history. Naples, Port Charlotte, and also Fort Myers. We're going to talk much more extensively about Hurricane Ian and our local forecast for the weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Because of Hurricane Ian, people are rethinking their vacation plans to travel to Florida. For one Mayfield woman, she says she feels like she's avoided 2 natural disasters. Local 6's Jane Kim's here now. So Jane, tell us more.
Todd, I spoke to one woman who was planning on going to Florida this week, but decided to change her plans after monitoring the path of Hurricane Ian. Not only that, she's from Mayfield, and she says she feels lucky. Her family and her house avoided that storm too.
Jennifer Gibson was planning on a trip to Florida to celebrate her friend's 40th birthday.
We were going to Jacksonville. We had rented a house in Ponte Vedra, just south of Jacksonville, and had everything planned out. Dinner reservations, day trips, and we were looking very forward to it.
But with Hurricane Ian moving across the state, Gibson and her friends changed course.
During the weekend, we started watching it a lot more closely. We wanted to wait. There were a lot of variables. People kept saying, we can't tell, it's too early. So we kind of waited till the very last minute until we had to cancel.
And for travelers like Gibson, travel agents say it's important to look ahead and read the fine print when making plans.
I always like to call it protect your investment. And that happens when you book the trip. You find out from the vendor, whether it's a hotel, a VRBO, whether it's a cruise ship or whatever, you find out what the cancellation fees are, and you find out what the penalties are for having to cancel, and what happens if something like a hurricane happens.
And for natural disasters like Ian, agents say follow Gibson's lead. Monitor your designated location closely.
The most important thing you can do when you book a vacation is do a lot of your own research. Don't just assume that, oh, everything's going to be okay at that location when we go.
Gibson rescheduled her plans, and now she and her friends are going to Scottsdale, Arizona for the birthday celebration. She's leaving tomorrow. Todd?
All right, Jane, thanks. Travel agents also say to make sure you're communicating consistently with your airlines, your lodging locations, if you expect any disruption because of the weather. Hurricane Ian hit Cuba earlier as a Category 3 storm and knocked out the power there for the whole country. Areas of Cuba have been devastated. The Coast Guard picked up a boat of migrants that was fleeing Cuba ahead of the storm. One of the most affected areas was Pino del Rio, which left very little food, water, and no power, with major damage to structures. Here you can see a tobacco farm, the most famous tobacco farm in Cuba, and where Fidel Castro got his cigars, was hit by the hurricane. The owner told CNN he lost most of the structures and the farm and the tobacco. Now to some breaking news. The McCracken County Sheriff's Office says it is investigating a crash involving a pedestrian in the 5100 block of Old Mayfield Road. Now, that road is closed between Bleach Road and Bogard-Schmidt Road, where deputies are conducting their investigation. Drivers are asked to find an alternate route, and the Sheriff's Office says it will provide an update when the road is reopened. And we learned about 9:45 tonight, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says the road is expected to remain closed for about 2 hours. Drivers can detour using Bleach Road, US 45, and Krebs Station Road. We first told you about this through a Local 6 push alert. To get breaking news like this right to your phone, download the WPSD Local 6 app and enable push alerts. The Supreme Court will partially reopen to the public next week for the first time since March 2020. That's, of course, when the building was locked down as a result of the COVID pandemic. People will be able to attend oral arguments when its new term starts on Monday. The rest of the building will remain closed to the public. Before the pandemic, people could tour the building, view exhibits, and visit the cafeteria and gift shop. The court will continue to live stream audio of oral arguments that it implemented when the building was closed. Michigan bodybuilder turned construction worker Logan Barnhart admitted to attacking Capitol Police on January 6 at the Capitol. He battled cops and helped drag an officer down the stairs and has pleaded guilty to several charges. He faces 3 to 5 years in federal prison. The EU suspects that damage to 2 underwater gas pipelines was sabotage. The EU is warning of retaliation for any attack on Europe's energy networks, and companies are ramping up security. The episode underscored the vulnerability of Europe's energy infrastructure and further heightened tensions in the continent that has been rocked by the 7-month war in Ukraine.
Well, I think all the signs point to some type of sabotage. These pipelines are only in about 200 feet or so of water, and Russia does have an undersea capability that would easily lay explosive devices by those pipelines. And I do think it's a signal to Europe that Russia can reach beyond Ukraine's borders. So who knows what he might be planning next.
Poland also said Russia was probably to blame. The incidents came as the EU struggles to keep a lid on soaring gas and electricity prices. R&B singer R. Kelly, convicted twice this year of sex crimes and currently in jail, will be required to pay at least $300,000 in restitution to some of his victims. The money will compensate 2 women for the cost of therapy and medical treatment. That figure is likely to rise after prosecutors recalculate the cost of medications. An Arizona man was fatally shot by police after reportedly throwing rocks at their cars. Alis Osman was killed Saturday in Phoenix. His family said he had a history of mental health issues and questioned why police did not use a less deadly method. Police told the man to stop, but he refused. Osman was then shot by police. He died from his injuries at the hospital. His attorney said he could not fathom a set of circumstances described that would warrant a young black man being shot down in the streets of the city for throwing rocks. A former school nurse in Clarksville, Tennessee, Leon Hensley, pleaded guilty to attempting to produce child pornography. Hensley, a former nurse at Northeast High School, was accused of sending a digital photo of a nude woman to a young girl. Investigators found several pictures on Hensley's phone of nude children, including a child at Northeast High School. Several hundred images of juvenile girls were also found on other devices during the investigation, including pictures taken by a hidden camera in the nurse's station at the school. Hensley faces a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison on each count and up to life when he is sentenced. There was a stabbing in Princeton, Kentucky last night. The suspect, Sean Christie of Princeton, is in custody. The stabbing happened in the 300 block of North Seminary Street. When police arrived, Joseph Traylor was laying in the street with a stab wound to his chest. Police performed life-saving measures until Caldwell County EMS arrived. Traylor was taken to Caldwell County Hospital, then later flown to Deaconess in Evansville. The suspect turned himself into police. He's been charged and is in the Caldwell County Jail. The investigation's ongoing. And police say a Murray man, Edward Pettis, was caught trying to break into a home on Jones Street and has been charged with stealing catalytic converters from cars. Pettis told police he was allowed to be at the house. The homeowner denies that. Officers recognized Pettis as the suspect in the attempted theft of the catalytic converters. He admitted to being there during the converter thefts. He faces several charges and has been booked into the McCracken County Jail. The Dow Jones mounted a big comeback today as the Bank of England said it would buy bonds to stabilize its financial market. It's a reversal in the policies implemented by most central banks to slow down inflation. The move stabilized the British pound. The U.S. Treasury yields retreated from their highest levels in more than a decade, easing concerns that higher interest rates were choking the economy. The Dow jumped about 548 points, or 1.88% increase. The S&P 500 rose 1.97%. Just a day after a new market low, and the Nasdaq was up 2.05%. Both the Dow and the S&P snapped a 6-day losing streak. All right, taking a look now at gas prices. Today's national average, $3.76, up 2 cents from yesterday, 8 cents from a week ago. In Kentucky, the average is $3.35. That's up 6 cents and 9 cents from a week ago. And in McCracken County, it's $3.06 a gallon on average. The cheapest gas can be found at Kroger, and that's going for $2.98 a gallon. Later, the illnesses local doctors are treating, and tonight's what's going around. But first, how power crews from Lexington, Kentucky are helping out Floridians as Hurricane Ian bears down on the state.
Lots of meteorology to discuss about Ian. We'll go through that and where it's heading next to the Carolinas, if it'll impact your travel plans for fall break. It's coming up after the break.
Almost 6 million children in the U.S. are diagnosed with ADHD, many taking meds to help focus in class. But new studies are showing that may not be the solution for better grades. Tomorrow morning at 6:40, helping kids with ADHD. Join us on Local 6 today.
Many kids face this winter without a warm coat. Your school or church can change that. Join the Coats for Kids Challenge, sponsored by River Valley Ag Credit. Collect coats and make a difference. Go to WPSDLocal6.com to sign up now.
Have you been to Anything Goes Trading lately, where we have something for everyone? Along with our traditional fabulous finds and items for your Pinterest projects, we now offer new vintage decor. We have new merchandise daily. And don't forget to check Facebook for our weekly sales.
If you're ready to sell your home or downsize, before you do anything, give us a call at Fernleaf Real Estate for a free assessment of your home and its contents.
And remember, there's no deal too tall
or too small for us to handle.
Anything Goes Trading Company.
Hi folks, I'm Josh with CFI Equipment, and this year we're celebrating 50.
50 years old, 50 years strong, Kubota strong.
That's right, Kubota and CFI have both reached a milestone with our 50th anniversary. Together we're stronger than ever, bringing you quality products, great service, along with 0% financing on all new Kubota tractors.
We're 50 and I love it.
The CFI Equipment, that's 3 miles off exit 16 on Highway 62.
Name's Red. They call me out here once a year to do a little price cut. Nice.
Save up to $5,000 on select in-stock homes during the Red Tag sale.
You're welcome.
Dan Stovacek, Paducah Ford. We are still buying vehicles off the street every day from people just like you. You know, if it's 10 years old, if it's 1 month old, it doesn't matter. Clean as a pin, rough as a cob, whatever you have, bring it by. In 5 minutes, we'll give you appraisal. Top dollar. The market is still at historic highs. Take advantage. Put the cash in pocket today. Toyota, Honda, Ford, GM, Mazda, it doesn't matter. Bring your car in today. I bought a 65 Ford the other day. Bring it in. We'll write you a check today.
So what can we say about the buffet at Pizza Inn, where you'll find your favorite pizzas served hot with made-from-scratch dough and hand-shredded 100% real mozzarella cheese, plus the area's best and biggest salad bar with your choice of over 40 fresh veggie salad and dessert items. And the choices keep coming with the pasta bar, dessert bar, and make sure to save room for ice cream. Enjoy the buffet anytime between 10:30 and 9, 7 days a week. It's just a great deal any way you slice it. For Pizza Out, it's Pizza Inn, a Paducah tradition for over 50 years.
Anderson's Furniture and Mattress is putting on an end-of-summer sale. The temperatures may be dropping, but our savings never will, with up to 40% off store-wide, or get up to 72 months, no interest. Enjoy thousands of items in stock, ready for delivery, with queen mattresses starting at $179 and same-day delivery on most mattresses. Plus, we have all the best in American-made living room sets, like these from England Furniture Co. So enjoy the savings at the end-of-summer sale at Anderson's Furniture and Mattress.
Sky Tracker, brought to you by Oaks Law Firm, personal injury and family law professionals.
I do want to start you with what is a pretty eye-opening graphic here. All the Category 4 and 5 landfalls on the U.S. Gulf Coast since 2017. Harvey, from left to right. Harvey, Laura, Ida, Michael, which was upgraded to a Category 5 upon further analysis after Michael happened. Ian, just this afternoon, and Irma. It certainly seems like we're in a stretch here of our history of increasing Gulf major hurricanes, but historically through the last 150 years, there is no net increase in the number of hurricanes with climate change. So there is no science that says there's more hurricanes, but we'll come back to that point in a second. This was the view today from Fort Myers Beach. I'll be honest with y'all, you'll know how Trent and I roll around here. We don't sugarcoat anything, but I'm very fearful for what, like we had in Mayfield in surrounding areas of Tennessee and Kentucky after December 10th, when the sun comes up tomorrow and the media gets a hold of the images of especially Fort Myers and Naples, it seems like, it's probably going to be very bad. This was taken in the middle of the afternoon, water up to the first story of people's roofs here. That was in Fort Myers Beach, Florida, earlier this afternoon. And again, I do think tomorrow the images that come out are going to be pretty horrifying. This was from Sarah Metz, Pink Shell Resort. Some of you may have ever traveled there before. Tremendous damage. This will be certainly a $1 billion disaster in terms of the United States impact from Hurricane Ian. It is remarkable. history does repeat itself in more ways than one. Now, when we talk about science, we do find meteorology does repeat itself. Now, this storm was different, much bigger, much more powerful, but the track, I mean, my goodness, it's pretty wild. There's going to be a lot of studies done on this one. Almost identical, the landfall spot, this one of Ian to Charlie. You see the two lines there from 2004 versus 2022. Pretty remarkable here, right between Boca Grande and Fort Myers, just all those years apart, and they both tracked up into the western Atlantic. All right, so where's this thing going next? It's going to dump a ton of rain tonight from Orlando to Daytona Beach up to Jacksonville. They'll get some coastal flooding in Jacksonville as this onshore wind comes back into the coast. Second landfall here from Hilton Head to Charleston. I added the computer models on behind here, the spaghetti plot. And outside of this one crazy one, which, you know, just like the family or, you know, I'm sure your group of friends, there's always the one crazy opinion of the group or the one crazy person. So just ignore that one. But most of them do bring it into South Carolina. But unfortunately, this is certainly going to be no laughing matter for people even far inland. Anytime a tropical system rams into the mountains of the Appalachians, you get all that uplift from rain, and there's probably going to be a lot of inland flooding as Ian goes through the weekend up into the hills of West Virginia eventually. Here's the radar tonight. It kind of looks lopsided. That's because there's some dry air coming in on the south side, but still tremendous rain. Here's going to be the computer models we go through Thursday. It pulls off the coast. Finally, recovery will be able to get underway across the Sunshine State. If you're flying anywhere Friday or Saturday, most of these airports from Raleigh to CLT, Charlotte, Charleston, most of these flights are probably going to be canceled from turbulence, wind shear, and the tropical storm or potentially Cat 1 hurricane coming in again. But I want to show you here, I'll play this forward, Friday night and Saturday. I mean, Saturday, the cloud deck might extend to like maybe Hoptown. But notice here, it's still dry, but the north wind we're going to have on Saturday and Sunday is related to Ian's remnants, which will just fall apart over the hills of West Virginia over the weekend. Maybe Sunday we'll get more clouds, but outside of the breeze and the clouds, it'll be about it. So 74 tomorrow, 78 Friday, 78 Saturday, 78 Sunday, a few more clouds Sunday, breezy both Saturday and Sunday. Then I do think towards the middle and end of next week, I think it's possible even beyond this 7-day, we could get back up into the upper 80s. Still dry as we go into the first full week of October.
Power crews from Kentucky are on their way to Florida to help in Hurricane Ian recovery efforts. Crews with Kentucky Utilities left today from Lexington as Hurricane Ian closed in on Florida. More than 200 employees and contractors from Kentucky are making the trip south to join the thousands of other line workers from more than 20 states. The crews will stage in Georgia and Florida before they are sent to areas most impacted by the Category 4 hurricane that made landfall today. And we also checked in with our local power companies if they plan to send crews to help. Jackson Purchase Energy and West Kentucky Rural Electric say they may send crews if called upon. At the same time, Paducah Power said they could have a crew heading to Florida on Friday, but those plans are still being finalized. Coming up, what's going around your community? The illnesses doctors are treating.
You bring joy. You give smiles. You create memories. You are someone's favorite person, and your health matters. 4 out of 10 adults will develop cancer in their lifetime, but screening tests can catch cancer early and help save lives. For the lives you touch, schedule your cancer screening today. Visit GetScreenedNow.com or call 314-208-2737.
Hi, I'm Jerry Summers, New Wave Flooring. For 49 cents, you can get luxury vinyl tile or plank. And don't forget, free install on Mohawk carpet. That's right, I said free install on Mohawk carpet. We always got some in stock, whether you're doing one room or a whole house. We've got lots of colors in stock, ready to be installed by our licensed and experienced installers. Hey, I think I've got it. Blink, I'm gone. Hey, I'm halfway there.
If you or a loved one served or worked at Camp Lejeune, you may have been exposed to toxic drinking water. Congress recently passed the Camp Lejeune Justice Act to help compensate those who are exposed to this water and have cancer or other serious health problems. If you served or worked at Camp Lejeune anytime between 1953 and 1987, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call the Bryant Law Center today for a free evaluation of your case.
I had a wonderful experience out here, and I am so grateful to finally find someone who could help me the way that Dr. Miliano has helped me. I have spent a lot of money on hearing aids at other places, but I have never gotten the service that I have gotten here. If you want the best, come on out here and see for yourself.
My grandfather built Michelson's, committed to the golden rule of business.
4 generations later, our commitment remains the same. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
That's exactly why thousands of families, friends, and neighbors have trusted Michelson's to help them select a quality diamond.
We'll be here tomorrow to stand behind what we sell today.
For life's special moments, there'll always be Michelson's.
Let Furniture World Galleries help you fall in love with a better night's sleep. Sleep is so important to your health, and our trained sales associates are here to help you find the perfect mattress. Queen mattresses starting at $3.99. Get a free set of sheets and a mattress pad protector with any purchase. Upgrade to an Maloop adjustable base and save an additional $200 off. Get up to 60 months interest-free financing or ask about our cash price discount. Only at Furniture World Galleries next to Tuesday Morning here in Paducah.
This portion of the news brought to you in part by Chambers Roofing, serving our community since 1943.
You're watching WPSD Local 6.
Wash your hands, cover your mouth when you cough. There's a stomach bug making the rounds. Local 6's Brianna Clark shows us what other illnesses area doctors are treating in tonight's What's Going Around.
Premier Primary Care in Union City, Tennessee is treating upper respiratory infections, ear infections, and a stomach virus this week. Baptist Health Urgent Care reports COVID-19, RSV, and STDs. Upper respiratory infections, seasonal allergies, and COVID-19. That's what they're seeing this week at Baptist Health Medical Group Primary Care in Benton. A similar story at Baptist Health in Murray, where they're treating upper respiratory infections, sinusitis, and COVID-19. And over at Family Practice Clinic in Marion, Kentucky, family practitioner Jennifer Brown reports a stomach virus that's going around. She's also seeing sinus infections and asthma flare-ups. For this week's What's Going Around, I'm Brianna Clark.
There are new standards foods have to meet before that label can get stamped on its packages. That's because healthy is a regulated claim, which was first defined in 1994. But the FDA says things have changed since then. For example, there are some cereals that have a lot of added sugar but still meet the definition of the healthy claim. At the same time, salmon, which is high in healthy fats, does not. This new healthy claim would consider all of the nutrients in foods. The Justice Department is taking American Airlines and JetBlue Airways to federal court. The DOJ wants to break up an alliance between the two airlines that allows them to share gates and loyalty points in Boston and New York. American, the world's largest airline by market share, says the partnership with JetBlue helps them compete. However, the Biden administration says the partnership amounts to a partial merger and reduces competition. The partnership could cost air travelers as much as $700 million, but both airlines dispute that. Space, but make it goth. That's the way NASA described, apparently, the latest shot from the James Webb Space Telescope, a spiral galaxy 29 million light years from Earth. We've actually never seen this kind of detail before. Webb has already taken images of unseen aspects of the cosmos, along with images of Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune.
As the Kentucky Wildcats prepare for another tough road test this weekend, how head coach Mark Stoops is preparing his team for the added pressure that comes with it. But first, Murray State Racers are putting in the work preparing for the upcoming season. But what is priority number one for head coach Steve Prohm? That's next. You're watching WPSD Local 6 at 10.
Hey, 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 hey! Hey everyone, Miles Teller will be here for a game of Drinko. Plus we have Medina Menzel losing from Babyface featuring Baby Tate tonight.
It's an all-new Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon tonight on NBC.
Paducah's Midtown Market offers the freshest food and is proud to sponsor the morning briefing containing the freshest news, weather, and sports results delivered free to your inbox before you start your day. Sign up for the morning briefing online at WPSDLocal6.com.
Commercial Estate and Auction will be conducting an absolute land auction this Saturday, October 1st at 10 a.m. in the Cunningham, Kentucky area. Selling will be the Clyde Sissel Farm, 52 acres in one tract. This property is an excellent building site with road access and woodlands offering private living. That's this Saturday, October 1st at 10 a.m. The Clyde Sissel Farm, 52 acres in one tract. Auction held at the Cunningham Community Center. For more photos and information, call or visit harrisauctions.com. Michael Harris, your professional auctioneer.
Hey, it's Scott at Happy Z Sit and Sleep. We've been voted #1 for the 8th year in a row. We work very hard at choosing the best-in-class sleep solutions at the most affordable prices. We have the #1 latex line in Posh and Lavish, the #1 memory foam mattresses in Tempur-Pedic, the #1 bed in a box in Nectar and Dream Cloud, and the #1 innerspring line in Stearns & Foster. We want to thank you once again for trusting us with all your sleep solutions so that we can continue to glorify God by serving people. We are Happy Z Sit and Sleep in Benton and Paducah.
There will be an exciting car show this Thursday night between 5 and 7 p.m. at Southgate Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Metropolis. The Road Rash Car Club invites you to come out and enjoy the classics of yesteryear, plus a silent auction. Proceeds to benefit Alzheimer's research.
When you're ready, we're here to help rebuild your dream.
Why are more people choosing to live at Noble Lodge Inn and Apartments?
I've been here for quite a while. It's clean, comfortable, a great family atmosphere. You cannot beat the location, and the rent fits nicely into a family budget.
Now under new management, Noble Lodge offers an affordable, safe place to live with apartments that are furnished and newly renovated. Rent includes all utilities, free Wi-Fi, smart TVs, off-street parking, surveillance cameras. And now for a limited time, get $50 off your first month's rent as a new renter. Call today.
Lamb's Trailer Sales in Gilbertsville, Kentucky. Trailers to fit any need starting at just $13.32. We have loads in all shapes and sizes with one thing in common. They're all top quality and come with a 1-year guaranteed warranty. Plus, you can enjoy our rent-to-own program. No credit check needed. Everyone approved. We also have financing available in 90 days, same as cash. Plus, we take trade-ins. High-quality trailers starting at $13.32 at Lamb's Trailer Sales, where we sell the best and trade for the rest. Call us today.
Heading into each year, head coaches seem to almost always know what direction their team will take as they prepare for a season, and they know which players to rely on. But for Maury State head coach Steve Prohm, he may know some of that, but with 12 new players, it's more up in the air than ever before. For the Racers, junior forward DJ Burns is the lone returning starter and the lone returning scholarship player. The rest are going through these early practices for the first time together as a team. And while the offseason was built around laying the foundation, now it's time to start for the rest, which means finding out which of those players will fill certain roles on the team, and it could be a process.
I'll meet with each guy and start really kind of trying to identify roles. Us as a staff will try to start identifying roles. I think it just kind of, like I said, just kind of ramps up more today from that standpoint. I think when you have one returning guy, you know, that played a lot, and you have Rod Thomas returning, and then you have 12 brand new guys, you know, they probably all think they're playing, you know, a bunch right now. And so you got to, you know, slowly kind of, you know, establish roles, but it's going to take a little bit for that.
Prohm went on to say that because of everyone fighting for position, competition level of practice could be higher than ever before. This past weekend, when the newest Associated Press rankings were released, the Kentucky Wildcats moved up to 7th. That's their highest ranking in the last 25 years. But the hardest part of the Wildcats schedule is now here. The Wildcats travel to 14th ranked Ole Miss, one of the most anticipated games of the weekend. Compared to the Wildcats have already faced this year, it's arguably their toughest game to date. It will also test the Wildcats to see if they can live up to the hype currently surrounding the program. And with there always being doubters around, Coach Stoops says that really helps.
It helps, you know, with your team, and hopefully it motivates them to practice hard to stay that way, because we know we have a very tough stretch coming up starting here this week. So, you know, our team is mature enough. You know, certainly there's some young guys that need to still be taught quite a bit, but the leadership of this team knows that that's fine, but it's really about how we practice and how we prepare.
Well, if you're wondering what the highest ranking ever for the program is, at one point they were 3rd in the nation in 1950. Longtime UT Martin Athletic Director Phil Dane passed away today after battling an illness. Dane spent 41 years at UT Martin in various roles and was athletic director from 2000 to 2013. He was inducted into the UT Martin Hall of Fame back in 2017 and the OVC Hall of Fame this past year. He was 68. Latest Associated Press rankings are out in Illinois this afternoon. Class 4A Carterville up to 8th in the standings after a 5-0 this week. In Class 2H Johnson City 10th in the state, dropping down 1 from last week, but remain unbeaten on the season.
All right, Adam, thank you. Noah?
We may not see rain again, guys, for a long while. Lots of sun tomorrow and Friday. Yet another week that's great of high school football. Might we go the distance this year without any bad weather?
You said that. Why did you say that?
it keeps going. I don't know.
Warning, unedited script.
My wife noticed that our porch was starting to settle and it just continued to get worse. We first got a bid to replace the porch, and after some research we called Affordable Concrete Solutions. They were very responsive, even showed up when they said they would, saved us thousands, and did a fantastic job.
We repair sidewalks, driveways, pool decks, and more. Affordable Concrete Solutions also offers foundation support that will prevent further settlement. Affordable Concrete Solutions, serving the tri-state. Call us today.
To everyone that came out to this year's Big Boy Toy Expo, we say thank you. But don't just take it from me. Here's what some of the car show entrants had to say.
Most definitely. It's a lot of nice cars, met a lot of nice people, great environment, just a good time. Awesome weather, couldn't be much better.
Oh yeah, it's a great show.
Oh, they really enjoyed it. You know, the atmosphere, you know, they enjoy talking to people and meeting people.
We had nearly 4,400 people attend this year's show, and next year's show will be even bigger and better. We hope to see you there.
This is not an overdose phenomenon.
This is a mass poisoning, killing our kids at record levels.
Counterfeit pills laced with lethal doses of fentanyl.
Our teens are being deceived to death.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
One pill can kill.
But I don't understand why it was me, not him.
You can determine where you go from here. New Dr. Phil.
Tomorrow afternoon at 4 on WPSD Local 6.
Breaking news in your Weather Authority forecast on WPSD Local 6.